now. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Thank you. This started out as me just hanging out with Omolara. That's what we were saying. And I was like, oh, really? I think she mentioned that it would be nice to have a physical hangout. And we're happy. Thank you, Handmade Nigeria, for hosting us. The last time we did this was like 2 years ago, so in Ikeja. So we're happy that we can all meet in person now. Maybe 3 years ago, actually. I don't think it was 3 years ago. I think it was. What I remember is. Yes, that was when we met. So we had a session in Ikeja. I think that was like 4 years ago. So this is like our second physical meeting, and thanks to everyone joining online as well. I'm going to hand over to Omolara to give us our opening remarks. We're going to have a slight tweak in our calendar. After Omolara's opening remarks, Adebukola will go on with the SUC growth thoughts, and then I guess we'll then continue. I may have to be the one to handle the planning for second quarter of 2023, or if Adebukola is back, we'll do that together. So Omolara, you have the floor.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm super excited to be here. And like Denike said, it's been in the oven for quite a while. I'm glad we're finally doing it. Meeting physically, some people virtually, just hanging out. It's very much needed. Like I particularly like putting a face to names that I've grown familiar with online. So you're all welcome. And Startup Corner has been a staunch supporter. It's been a platform that I'm on many platforms, right? And for the past 3 years or so, I think Startup Corner has a special place in my business and in my heart among those platforms, because there's always something new, there's always a push and all of that. I'm sure that many of us would say the same about Startup Corner. So I'm really glad that we're doing this, and I'm looking forward to everything that everyone has to bring to the table today. I know we're going to have a splendid time. Thanks again for coming.
Applause. Online applause, please. Thank you. So Adebukola, please confirm that you can still hear us, because you'll be taking us on the next. Sorry, I thought I was the one sharing. So please, very well, can you take us to the SCC page? Adebukola, you have the floor. Once you can hear us. Oh no, please take us to the SUC growth team.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, hello. Come on, please. No, next slide, please. Go on, Brima, please go on. Please go on the slides. Go on. Yeah, thank you. Growth thoughts. Yeah. Adebukola, please, you have the floor. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. So, Omolara, thank you for hosting us this round. We hope to do more of this, in less interval of years. It's been a long while. Okay, so I'll just jump into this session I'm taking with Denike. Now, SUC Growth Thoughts is just like a segment to encourage us that even in our day-to-day, we still take like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to think about what's next or what else can we do to help our business. It's easy to get carried away with, the marketing, the packing stuff, the getting supplies, the, speaking to clients, managing them, that we might not, work on our business. We do the business, but are we working on growing it? And that's what led us to the SUC Growth Thoughts hashtag. So we have three things to discuss in this segment. Where can you network to get more clients this year? How can you do better accounting this year? Which technology should you invest in this year? But since we posted this in the first quarter of the year, let me first ask, is anyone willing to answer any of these three questions? Is there someone who has...
Go ahead.
No, Denike, you are not qualified to speak. You are also presenting it.
I'm always really
Okay, so did someone, reached out to someone, or someone reached out to you, and more clients or an extra clients resulted from that? Or is there something you have added or removed that is helping your accounting? And is there some extra technology that you're investing? Maybe it's just time, the time to open it and look at it and see how it can help your business. It doesn't investing in something doesn't necessarily have to be your money is going into it. It could be you took time out to learn how to use it for your own business, how to adapt it. Will it work or not? Just check it out at first. Like in the first quarter of this year now, ChatGPT was all the rave. Everybody was talking about it, at least in writer circles. So it's easy to either dismiss it outrightly or spend too much time on it. But, did you even take the time to check it out? So any of these three questions, is there someone willing to answer? We can all just say no, so we can move on faster.
I think we wanted to say something about it already.
Okay. Let me go with the first question. When you can network to get more clients this year? I think when you posted the question on Facebook, I think I answered. I said I would, I think social events or something like that. So it's just basic. Because I think for the past 1-2 years, or maybe since we recovered from COVID, I observed that my going out, I just really go anywhere. I'm just always indoors or out on business and all of that. So I plan to do a lot more socializing. I've started already, or in the process of starting.
You have started. So you did the treat fair. You will tell us about it.
Oh, right. So going out more, because I used to do that a lot when I just started with this one. It's one of the ways that we do. So I want to go back to that. That's the answer from my side.
Thank you very much for the answer. Any other person? Any other person?
I want to talk, but I'm not allowed to talk yet. So may I talk now?
Okay. Oh, yes.
I'm permitted now, Abi. Okay, yes. I can speak. So regarding this networking to start with, oh, sorry, I have someone is trying to get in, so maybe I'll just pass. That's my cue to not talk.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll just move on in the interim. So where can we network to get more clients this year? For my editing and proofreading business, I promised myself that I would show up at this year's Lagos Book Festival. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make sure I don't just stay with one person and chat with the person all through. I'm going to move around. I've made new cards, new business cards, with updated information and all of that. So next year, by God's grace, I'm also going to make sure that I have a stand at the Lagos Book Festival for BMS editors at least. and just start doing better visibility, making better moves for visibility. So that's for me in planning to network to get more clients.
Okay.
So better accounting.
Okay, continue, ma'am. Sorry.
Welcome. So on better accounting, the best I could do for myself at the end of the day was just to get an accountant and just to work out a payment schedule that I'll be fine with and she'll be fine with. I am totally tired of looking at figures. As much as I love words, I find that numbers swim before my eyes for some reason. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable
They
around
change
numbers.
before
So
your eyes.
it's just better I hand over to a professional.
So did I hear you say that
Denike, I
numbers
didn't
change
hear
before
that.
your eyes? Did I hear you say that numbers change before your eyes?
Yes, they just dance or something. I'm just not comfortable around them. I'm better than I used to. But,
Yeah,
but
because that's one of the
let's
things I actually struggle with when people say that. Because I'm just like, I remember in primary school when people tell me that I should come and explain something to them in math. I don't understand what you don't understand. So I'm like, I don't get it. What is the issue? Well, thank you for bringing that up because, many times we go for all those master classes, they tell you stuff, know your numbers. But numbers are dancing before my eyes. So how do I deal with that?
how do I know them?
So thank you very much for that point. Okay, is there anything else you wanted to say?
So yeah, I'm just going to speak. I when we had our first meeting, I said I was going to invest in some technology. I'm just going to say that was easier said than done. All my cards kept getting declined and all of that. Then I had to get another laptop, and I found that it's not so easy to download some of my software. And you won't believe it, but I joined 2 groups just to be able to pay for one of the softwares, and I've still not paid.
Okay, so can we give
You know,
you credit for buying a laptop as a technology you invested in?
Oh, thank you. I didn't even think of that. Yes, please do.
You tried for that one, but so for me, one thing I like to do is that when I like to consider goals as guides and not as the final
Someone
so
told me something. I've done cheaper cash. I've gotten another bank card.
you
So
had a
anyway,
problem with
so that's my
cheaper cash. You had a problem with cheaper cash. That's amazing because cheaper cash has been my saving grace for foreign payments so far.
Yes, I know, but when it comes to bookie, I don't know.
So I guess you and cards what's happening to you with cards is what's happening with me and cards. Every time I
Oh, that's
they're
true.
always busy or there's something is not going on. So, well, maybe we need to now make it a spiritual matter. We should fast and pray. Okay, while we were talking, Mr. Adetokunbo Mustafa walked in. So maybe we'll just let him
Good morning. My name is Adetokunbo Mustafa. I'm an entertainer. I'm also an University artist. I sometimes write at my leisure time. I love reading.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Great to have you. Thank you. Okay, so Adebukola,
I was thinking we're going to see his video or something.
Okay, let's do that.
But we really saw his voice.
They just okay, you like videos too much in this place, man. Okay, so please try to introduce yourself. You can spotlight.
Yeah.
Can you see him now?
Oh wow, he's a handsome man.
He is, and
I can't see him.
My name is Adetokunbo Mustafa. I'm an entertainer. I'm an actor. I'm a singer. I'm a voice actor. And I MC for events. Then I want to work at an OEP in the radio station, then I love reading, then I write at my leisure time. Very well.
Great to have you. Thank you for joining us. And also Mary
Welcome.
Atinuke. Thank you. Mary Atinuke also joined us while Adebukola was speaking. Would she like to please unmute, turn on your video if you can, and introduce yourself? Thank you. Okay,
Good morning,
Mary, you have the floor.
everybody.
Hello.
Morning, Mary.
Good
Yes,
morning.
Good morning.
Nice to be here. Sorry, I'm a little bit
Welcome.
indisposed this morning, so I'm under the weather. So I just let me check in. I'll be fine.
Like something is happening.
Thank
this
you.
weather. Good to have you. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us. Thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
Okay, so Bro Brimo, please can we go back to the slide? I was just going to talk about my growth, my SUC growth plot. The vision boarding we did in December, I believe it was December, really helped me because, like I was saying, I consider goals. I don't consider them as a boss, somewhere to stop or something. I see them as guides for you to know what you need to do. And I realized that up until this year, the thing that is playing in my head is gameplay. I've been kind of playing, but playfully serious. So I feel like I didn't have a goalpost. So I was just everywhere, making friends with everybody, but there were no targets. There was nothing being done. So this year I set very clear targets. I may not have made everything I want, but I'm there. I'm on that track. So I know what I don't know. I know where to which rabbit hole where I can network to get more clients ready and on. For example, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, online. I'm talking of online now because I don't think I have a lot of time to be able to do more of offline activities. So I'm trying to take the best advantage of my online presence as I can. I take time to even LinkedIn. I started working a bit on LinkedIn recently. I know that there are some groups and all that I could be in that will help with visibility for my businesses. Because my business is a bit more serious than dancing on Instagram will help me with. So I realized that while I'm on Instagram may not have most of the people I'm looking for. I need to be on platforms where the people that are ready to spend are. I've been looking at my Facebook adverts. And I said I was just going to give you one more push, but I'm looking more towards Google Ads, Twitter, and maybe LinkedIn, because I think those are the places where people that are very likely to buy real estate will be congregating. So I just want to give Facebook one more push. But I know that for me to run good ads on all of those platforms, I need to be at least more visible. So I'm working more on my YouTube videos so that when I'm going to go for Google Ads, I'm pushing my videos on the ads. I'm trying to build those platforms better. So any network or anywhere I'm in, I'm trying to focus to let people know that I have these platforms. Not that I'm going to trash my current platform, but I will pay a bit less attention to them, try to build the ones where I believe that my target audience are more likely to congregate online. But I'm open to comments from anyone. Because Omolara looks like she has something to say, and I'm quite interested in hearing this.
No, when you mentioned Twitter, that's when I raised my eyebrows because I always struggle to see Twitter as a buying crowd. But when you now mentioned the real estate, it made more sense because I know quite a chunk of Twitter, quite a chunk of diaspora Nigerians on Twitter because active and all that business.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that's all I was going to say with that. So please, can we go back to the agenda? Bro Brimo. I'm looking for a story. That's what I'm calling him. Okay, so we'll just go back. I'm supposed to give a review of the first quarter activities of the startup corner. I should have 10 minutes for that, but hopefully I should be done in less than 10 minutes. Please, can you go back to this? Can you go to the slide? Thank you. Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay. Thank you. I deliberately put the picture of one of the handmade NG offering. Yes. So because they are hosts, so we are recognizing them, and I'll just like to say thank you again for hosting us. So I'll just give a quick recap of the things that we've done in January, February, and March this year, because those were the first quarter months. Most of what we did were online, of course, but this is our second physical meeting. We had weekly meetings. Sorry, the person to deliver our small chops is coming. Hello, madam. Yes, ma'am. As expected. It's good. But we still eat our food. Okay, so basically we had the online monthly meetings in January. I am not sure we had in February. I don't think we did in February, but we had in March. And the March session for me, I just wanted to talk a bit about that. I was supposed to come to Lagos directly on March 22nd. But my flight was delayed till 23rd, and then eventually the flight was cancelled because there was a bus strike. So I was annoyed. So I had to go to Warri and then travel from Warri to Lagos the next day. So I got to Lagos on Friday, and I was feeling quite annoyed with all of that. But somehow in the middle of thinking, because I got myself sorted, I was in a house all by myself, and I was like, so what do I do with myself at this time? So I was chatting with Brimo, I think. Brimo fixed me with someone that got me food while I was in Warri. And it was just an interesting detour, because I felt like a princess. And people sorted me out in ways that was really, so at night I was just there. I was like, what do I do with myself? And so I reached out to some startup corner. I think I sent out a broadcast message like, if you're available to talk, let's get on a Zoom call. Yeah, so it wasn't even planned. So it was just, if you have time. And we went on, and we had to eventually cut it off at some point, because we got stuck talking about, it was something about who are your competitors. That was the question. And we went on and on. Debbie Domu was there, and I think Debbie was the one that gave us a case study that we worked on. And we were on it, and we were discussing it. We had to eventually go at about 9 p.m. Brimo, you remember that session, right?
Yes.
Are you here? You remember the session, right?
Yes,
and and then people came, everyone had great contributions, and I was like, wow, this is a nice one. Very unplanned. I don't really like to not do things that are not planned, but it went really, really well, and I was quite happy with that. It was a good session. So the recordings are on YouTube. You can still go back to our Startup Corner YouTube channel to go back and catch up on all of those things. So it was a nice session. I think January 1 was a good one. I honestly can't remember what we talked about, but it was a good session. I just know. I think we reviewed our vision boards. We had some SUC board discussions and all that. So it was great. And so going forward, we plan to continue with our monthly sessions. When we can, we will have physical meetings, but they will be hybrid. People will still have the opportunity to join online. And of course, today is 10 a.m. I expect that people will be at work. So that's, apologies again for that, but it was just the most practical time we could have done it this time. So next time, please, when we put out the polls, please vote so that we vote the best times for us and we'll be able to do that. So we've been having book reviews. We have a Telegram channel for business book reviews. books. We review business books. And right now we are reviewing On Your Marks, a business, it's a book for startup business owners. So there's a Telegram group for that. If you're not yet on the group and you'd like to join, for those on the WhatsApp platform, it's just, if you look up, the link is there anyway, but you can just highlight and say, please add me to the group. So what I've been doing with that book is that I've just been picking out questions. So the questions are supposed to be things that you then go sit down by yourself and think through and see how they can help with your business. And we'll discuss one or two of them in our, oh God, they're calling me. Madam, yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay, but I'm in the middle of the session. I'm actually speaking, so I'm not sure. Okay, thank you. Thank you. No, we are just going to how to market it. And really, we are a publisher. We are just going to our own house to market for the congress. Okay, so like I was saying, so the book reviews, what I've been doing is I pick out the questions that a startup business owner should think about, because first of all, I should not be sharing someone's book. I don't believe in doing any of those things. We have copies of the book available. They're with us, Elizabeth. Elizabeth has the book. She's based in Onipan. So if you're interested, you probably want to send her a DM and to arrange your copies of the book. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for helping with that, because I know I won't be able to manage all of that. So then, of course, we've continued in the WhatsApp group, sharing the business tips that we know, the opportunities that we have. So we'd like to encourage everyone to engage, and everyone is free to share business tips and opportunities, either on Facebook or WhatsApp. Everyone is welcome. It's a platform for all of us. So it's not Adenike and Adebukola's group only. We appreciate everyone's contribution as well. Or Molara's group too, or it's everyone's group. Then on my own, for real estate to see, but of course, it's also open to Startup Corner members. We started the property ownership community. So I said that I'm putting together slides. Adebukola is, every time I think of it, I'm thinking of Adebukola. She had asked that we should have some session where we talk about property ownership for business owners, so that because one of the things that we struggle with in getting access to finance is collateral. And if you had that property, and I was watching during the heat of the election period, it was one of the PDP guys that was saying that when what's that name? Their presidential candidates, former VPS, that when it comes in, that they are going to do some work on real estate, so that you'll be able to use your property to get access to finance for your businesses, because that's one of the challenges that we haven't really cracked. But while Nigeria is, I don't know, he was saying stuff about some innovative ways of people that, so some of those real estates that are lying fallow somewhere, that you can access funds with them and then use them for productive work. Like Omolara said, I believe that it's something that is already happening on a lower scale, but it's not, everyone doesn't know about it. And I don't think it's common knowledge like that. So I'm just thinking, as a community, we can look into it and see, maybe even Startup Corner can own property on behalf of the members, and then we can then use that to access funds. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in that space that we can begin to think about. But I'm working on the slides. I would like Omolara to respond to that, because I'm looking at her face, so I can see her face. So that's the reason I would like her to respond, because it looks like she has something to say.
Like, I know that the possibility, but it's not something I like
Talks about
having a property and then members can use it, because I've not heard about something like that.
Because I'm thinking that there's an opportunity there that we can come together as a community maybe you come with your 5K. Yes, I think businesses can own property. And since it's a registered entity. So what I'm looking at is that when we are taking that loan, if we want to take that loan, we are considering Omolara's needs, Oladumi's needs, so the money we are asking for from the beginning is going to be money that all of us know that we are all owing. So by the time we are repaying, okay, Omolara, bring your 50K. I think it can be done. But of course, there's the issue of trust, and I like the way you said that you're in Nigeria, because there's the issue of trust, which takes me to my next point, which is the contributory scheme. And so by the time they are registering, none of us are registering the business entity in all of our names. So when they are arresting all of us. So that's all that. But Mary, please come on. Maybe I think you have something to say. Please go on. Please go on.
Denike.
Adebukola.
Hello. Yes, I have to take permission now.
Okay, ma. We hope you'll be able to join us afterwards. Okay, I'm not sure. I think she has left. I hope you'll be able to join us afterwards.
To bow outside, don't miss my 11 a.m. appointment.
Okay, that's fine.
Everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contributions. So, so it's something, I think it's an opportunity, but we need to think through it before we get into that, because like you have said, we are Nigerians. So we need to make sure that there's hope. It takes me to the contributory scheme. There's a contributory scheme for anyone that is interested. Right now, we are just starting with actual monthly contributions, and we're also looking at the regular AJO, but then there's also one that I've done before where it's not AJO, you're just keeping your money. That's the one that Oladunni was actually the one that made, so maybe want to continue that, but that's how we met. So we did so everyone just drops their, whether it's 5K, okay, so we are keeping it like in a mutual fund or something. And by the end of the year, you collect your money. Then I had the person that has been most consistent in saving etc. now gets an award, and there'll be some extra markup for that. So there is also that for anyone that is interested. So there's a Google form. I'll drop it in the WhatsApp group again for anyone that is interested to join, to plug in. And so the reason why I went into that is that for the contributory scheme, particularly the AJO one, the person I'm working with, we agreed that we are going to get guarantors. Although it's AJO, the money is not plenty, but I'm hoping that we'll use that to build enough trust. So because I struggle with people just meeting people online, and then people are dropping billions. So there's someone else that was asking me that why are we starting with 5,000 naira? I'm like, I know that with 5,000 naira, the risk is low. First of all, the money is not enough for you to want to retain your image for, and even with that, we still have people that are standing as guarantors for the AJO members, because we are all Nigerians. Let me just keep saying that, because I don't want to tell people that and also, but I pray that Nigeria will get better and won't be so known for corruption by God's grace. And so with that, we will move on to the next slide, except does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have questions regarding these slides, or can we move on? Okay, in the absence, okay, please go on. Please go on.
Okay, there's this new picture that WhatsApp community rooms.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm thinking, why not bring those together and just have rooms for the business?
Okay, there's actually already a TTM community. So on WhatsApp, using the feature. So maybe I've not shared the details in Startup Corner, so that's it. So I've brought all the different, so that's why it's all the professional somewhere, I'm playing with some people, etc. I've brought them under the community. So I'm going to share the link I think everyone that is in Startup Corner is automatically in the community now because I brought Startup Corner into the community, but I haven't communicated back. And I think that's not fair. I need to communicate. So everyone needs to know. And so that's on me to deal with, and I'll do that. But can you finish your thoughts? I don't think
what I was saying was just instead of having Telegram groups,
okay.
they let all of them be together. So
Okay.
it's easier to manage.
Okay, so you're thinking that even the business community should be, the business group review should be on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not even getting a lot of engagement from people on Telegram. So you're thinking that it's because of the.
And just really go to Telegram. I forget about.
Okay, so give it a shot to see if it works. Because for me, the reason why I started going to Telegram was before the community thing. And it was just like, at least on Telegram, I know that like if WhatsApp crashes or something happens to your WhatsApp, everything is gone. But with Telegram, you seem to be able to retrieve your data because I had one Telegram channel back in 2019 or something. And Telegram actually shut down as they removed me as the account owner. But by the time I did this search, I still found that channel and I was still able to retrieve data that I had there. So for me, that's the attraction of Telegram. But I know that in terms of engagement, people struggle with Telegram, but maybe that's the new technology we all need to get used to. Maybe your customers may just be on Telegram. But for me, the major attraction of Telegram is the fact that, okay, the second attraction is that for someone that is a blogger, there are some plugins that you can put on your website so that they automatically post to Telegram. So you don't even have to do anything. Once you put in those plugins, everything that you're doing on your website that you want on Telegram, you have set it up. So you don't have to go and copy the links and paste somewhere. Because there's someone that owns a health blog that I'm supporting, and she's the one that got me back on Telegram. She swears by Telegram because it makes it so immediately she does whatever work she has to do on her blog, it immediately shows up on Telegram. So then I help her pick the link from Telegram and post on WhatsApp because WhatsApp doesn't have that plugin with WordPress. But in terms of people's engagement, yes, particularly Nigerians typically are WhatsApp people. I'm on a group that we usually were on Telegram, and we used to, our 200 people, we used to maximum engagement to get from 30 people. Maximum we have tried. But when we move back to WhatsApp, as in, I'm just like every day, everybody's showing up. So everybody is used to WhatsApp, but we delivered in Jesus' name. Brian, do you have anything to say about this Telegram and WhatsApp conversation? Because I think you and I have had some conversations along those lines too.
Yeah, so I like Telegram personally more than WhatsApp, simply because of the history and the memory that you can keep in Telegram. So if you set up your history, when documents are shared, when posts are made, and other people join, more like for a group like this, our Startup Corner, it's easy for new people to see conversations that have been held, discussions that have been had, you know, and all of that, compared to WhatsApp. Because for WhatsApp is the perfect example of that Nigerian expression that when you wake up, 9 be your morning. You know, WhatsApp, when you join is when the group starts for you. But on Telegram, when you join, you can see conversations that have happened before. The only challenge I have personally with Telegram on my own devices, and it might just be my devices. I use weird devices, by the way. My Telegram messages don't pop up compared to WhatsApp. On my iPhone, yeah, they don't pop up.
Because I think that's the whole issue with Telegram. Because WhatsApp is in your face. WhatsApp is like, if you don't remove it, the notifications are coming up. So, no, so for example, my Telegram, I didn't do anything in the setting. But like while I'm here now, WhatsApp notifications are coming. So I'm remembering that there's something happening on WhatsApp. But with Telegram, it's only on my laptop that I
Yeah.
get
I
notifications that
yeah.
is happening in Telegram. So it doesn't disturb
I
me. It doesn't make me
I don't even
disturb.
get I don't even get Telegram notifications on my laptop. Maybe because it's a Mac laptop. But on my iPhone, so I don't get Telegram notification. I get WhatsApp notifications. On my Android
Like
phone, I don't get
WhatsApp
any
is in your face.
notification.
WhatsApp is in your face.
Just because they would notify you about everybody that.
So I think that's
And
the
then
phone itself. Yeah, that's
just tell me, just get notification.
okay. That's true. Okay, so do we have any other comments on this, or can we move on to the next slide, which is again on Omolara to tell us about the trade fair that she had, that Handmade Nigeria had for Easter, right? It was the Easter handmade market. So please let me turn on the camera, the spotlight. I shouldn't do that. She said I shouldn't do that, but we still see her face.
Eventually. Okay, yeah, we had an exhibition with, we call it a pop-up store, earlier this month for Easter. And that's something we do, for most festive periods, because the store location is somehow hidden. It's enclosed in a gated compound. So we always get people saying, oh, we didn't know where. Yeah. So whenever it's a holiday, a festive period, and all of that, we do go outside to for a pop-up store. And it was very nice. It was very okay. The last time we had one was in December. So we had people that visited December that also showed up. And then of course we had new people. And we had old customers as well walking. And it was interesting. Normally when we have this pop-up store, as a marketplace, we invite other vendors to come with their stock as well. But Easter period, there were several exhibitions taking place on that same weekend. So the few people that were interested in coming had other places to be as well. But then their stock were there, their products were there. So we just basically put everything out together. So it was the 2-day affair. And the first day was not as forthcoming, or what was right. It was just okay. But that's not a bad thing, because sometimes we use the first day for awareness that, okay, these guys are out again and stuff like that. So but on the second day, we had quite a reasonable footfall. It went quite well. Okay.
So can we enter questions? Or do you have any questions? Any questions? Most students, who holds the one is in China, the army
Okay. Okay. So we used to open it up to everybody. But like I mentioned, we're a marketplace. So Handmade NG, the one that we want to trade, it's more like a pop-up store, not straight. Yeah. So under Handmade NG, we have several people, makers. We specialize in handmade accessories, fashion and lifestyle. So everyone under that umbrella. So before we used to leave it open like as long as it's handmade products. So
okay, so maybe yeah, so but maybe to expand our question, how does someone get on handmade market and the platform. And does that kind of
So it's not difficult at all, as you can see, it's the platform. But then we are, should I say, bigger online. So we have an e-commerce marketplace where you can list your products.
okay, so as a vendor, if I want to join your platform, what do I need to do?
There is a registration page on the website. So you just basically put the short form and you contact you. We take you through the uploading process so you can get your products. No, it's free. It's free to join. It's when you sell that you can yes.
So you are into
And yes.
so you mean that you allow other people to see yes. So it's a platform. So it's like the junior for and the Conga. Let me not say junior. Okay, is there anyone online that has any questions for Omolara?
Yes.
Is there anyone online that has a question? Am I missing any chats?
There's no chance.
Okay. All right. So I have some questions for you, ma'am. Are there any lessons you learned from the most recent one or anyone before that, your pop-up markets that you think you can pass on to startup business owners are thinking of having a similar pop-up event?
Okay, so for the very first one we had, the first one. So when you're hosting a pop-up store like that or an exhibition, you want to attract people's attention, people that are just going on the road. So of course some will come because you invited them or saw your adverts. But then you want to attract passers-by, so you need noise or let me say music. Okay, so I went looking for a DJ, and then I got a few news, and they were asking for so much, and I was like, I running this thing for 2 days because one day I was still doing. So luckily I called someone that I've worked with before for a similar exhibition, but it wasn't our own. So I called him up and he was like, on that day, he already has an event at Unilag that. So I'm like, can you link me up with any of your boys? He said, no, that's for what we want to do. That's actually also when you send me some pictures. So now this guy sent me this speaker. Told me that if I can just buy that speaker, that it even comes with microphones and all of that. I won't even need a DJ.
Yes,
and just Bluetooth and play your music on your own. And every time we have a pop-up store like that, I pray for that guy. It didn't accept me. It's still, it's so good. I'm like, the exact same amount I bought it for. That's what I was going to pay the DJ
for one time.
Yes.
And
it was a very big discovery for me.
And so for me, some lessons I'm picking from this is that number one, the reason why she knew that guy because she had been attending some other pop-up events. So she didn't pick him from the start that she was invited to. Some of us will turn off the email, we don't want any more. But I think from 2021, I tell you that all those spam BTCs, I'm going to embrace them because sometimes there's a lot of value in all of those things that I think that this person is discovering me. Because again, remember the question Adebukola asked us about networking. Because this is actually the power of networking that's now translated to reduction in business costs. Because I've had those types of experiences. You share again, you meet people, go for those industry events, even if you don't think there's anything of value they want to tell you. Because you may not be sitting down beside someone that has the answer you need. And it just reminds me of what I shared this morning. Today makes it my 7th year running the platform for CTM professionals, not startup, one of my many communities. So it's 7 years now since I started running, and it's also 16 years I started practicing language here. This same today. So I'm sharing on Twitter, I'm sharing some of the lessons I've learned. So when I was sharing, I remembered something one of my ex-colleagues told me. She told me that when she got that job with Lagos Police, that she was coming from the UK to Nigeria. She had just finished, just graduated, and she didn't have a job. So she was just coming by faith to Nigeria. And she on the plane, she was sitting beside some guy. I think he was one of the guys that started the conversation. And while they were speaking and all of that, she had mentioned that she was coming, that she didn't have a job. And then the guy got her CV, and the guy got her that job from just having that conversation on the plane. And I know it's a bit vulgar, but I'm going to say something that I've heard before. They're like that the woman that is looking for pregnancy that doesn't put on panties, something of the sort, that you have to be kind of shameless and open. And so maybe shameless is not the word, but open as a business owner. You have to, you don't have the luxury of saying, well, I don't associate with this kind of people. It's not to say that you lose your values, but there are some things that at some places you will have to go. You have to go for some pop-up events, because you never can tell when you're going to meet that next thing that will open the door. Thank you very much, Omola. Does anyone have any other questions for her? Please go.
I have a question. When I came in, I was
Sorry, please, can you speak up or get closer to the microphone? You're quite distant.
So I was about asking a question about the pop-up, and kind of trying to say that how we better in the world. So I want to know, does it mean that the venue change is where
from now? Okay, so the first exhibition we hosted was back in 2017. And then I think the following year, so those ones are really cheap exhibitions, they held them outside. But for now, we hold the pop-up stores. So we hold right there. We are just outside. Just outside. And there's a reason for that, because our target markets are trading
Within this area.
and so we're trying
To get people in. And so to also think about that, if you're on the handmade platform, for example, if you want to sell stuff, you want them to come and pick physical store, which is here in Magawan State. So we definitely want to make sure that. And the other good thing is that if you're on the platform already and time for the trade fair, even if you cannot come in person, your products can still be exhibited because they are part of the platform. Oh, and just for those that don't know, this my headband is from Handmade Nigeria. I deliberately put it on so that you can see some of the things that we did. So it was a gift to me. Thank you. She gave me an letter. I thought of putting it on. I just telling you. Then I don't. I was like, don't let me be too handmade. All right, so we can move on to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we have the section where it's going to be a roundtable discussion. I put in 4 points, 4 questions, but we don't have to go through all 4. We'll just time ourselves and have those conversations. Brimo, would you like to take a lead on this? These are basically questions that we ask on the platform at different times. So I just thought that since we're meeting physically, we can talk about it and we learn from them. So Brimo, can you hear me? Can you please anchor this session?
As much as I would really love to anchor this session, I don't think I'm in the best position to handle this. Because this self-same me that wants to talk about getting paying clients, I still have a lot of people I do jobs for free.
So it doesn't mean, so the getting paid, it doesn't mean that, I was thinking a bit about startup corner that was coming this morning. And majority of people, they position themselves as coaches, like I'm here to tell you something. But this community is a community where we are also talking about the things that involve us. We are not here to tell you that I made 1 billion naira last year, so listen to whatever I say. We're not trying to sell you a master class. I'm not trying to tell you a coaching program. So even that your experience of having people that don't pay you also helps somebody else, because then even if I remember listening to a sermon from Apostle Selman, and he was saying that maybe someone was telling him something about how he's not able to pay his children's school fees at his own age. And Apostle Selman said he told him congratulations. And he was like, why are you congratulating? He said, because you've learned how to fail. And majority of us don't know how to fail. We only, or maybe we don't know how to fail and move on, because then we begin to hide the failure. But he was like that, the man that knows that he wasn't able to pay school fees, the time he now begins to pay, his story is authentic. So what you get from many people, they'll tell you how I make seven figures sales in 1 month. Come and ask them, what did you do? You just go, when you gather, know your numbers, you just go and gather 4 things or 5 things on the internet, and they're telling you. But when someone that has been getting free, people that want to do free work, now finally manages to get paying clients, he or she is able to tell you that these are the things I did differently that led me to having paying clients. So every experience is valid, important. We learn something from it. So maybe I'll start with paying clients. One thing I first of all discovered that the person, I needed to be sure that I was giving up back, because I found out that the reason why I wasn't even getting paying clients was that I didn't think I was going to pay myself. Like, I did not consider myself worthy of what I was giving. I found out that it was something to do with my mindset. And God helped me. Some people called me out and they were like, all of these things that you are saying are actually valuable, but because I was not confident to be able to put a price to what I was asking. So every time someone comes, how much is it? So someone was shared in one of my other business groups. She said she was in one free class. Maybe I done a free class. And people were ready to pay. At the time they were asking her that. So they were like, how much is it? It was like, there's value. She kept trying to convince herself that what she was giving was valuable. So this lady was like, they kept saying, how much? How many times I could just ask you how much? So for me, one thing that fell out for me was that, do you even have rate cards? Rate cards, particularly for people that provide services. So when someone says how much, you bring your rate card and drop it. And then the person will now ask you, oh, is that your last? Then you can discuss at that point if that's not your last price. But at least sit down. I'm on a group with Adebukola. I think Omolara is there to put figures and editor. So I don't know if you're with us on WhatsApp. One question that comes up consistently there is, how much should I charge for this? How much should I, what's the price for that? And the question is, how much time are you putting into it? What helped me with that, particularly for people providing services, OAP, fashion, most of the time, but fashion at least is easy because eventually translates to the stuff. But for people that also teach, so maybe we're teaching. And I know that Omolara was blogging at some point, but I think she also said that it didn't seem to be, we are still working on the Facebook battle and Africa Handmade Forum. So it's a track people that are providing services for business. So the question always is, how much time are you going to have to spend to do what you're doing? And then so you should translate that to, so now for consulting, I'm going to take consulting. I've developed rate cards for different things. Sometimes I'm asking you, even as a caterer, I'm like, how much is the cake? Let's say, they say, no, they will tell you it depends. It depends on if you want fun. And so I'm like, why don't you put all these things down in your head on a card? Then let me know, just like imagine going into a restaurant. And yes, and you're asking them in the restaurant, how much is your plate of rice? They're not like, oh, it depends. if it's a jollof rice, and they're not going to use oil, or if we use palm oil, so aren't you going to get tired and go like, you know what, I know after this. So majority of the time, just have a price list. So the people that show up, that they've come through all of your sales funnel, they are now at the point of asking you how much is it. And then they are wasting their time with all those you're not. Just pick out the rate card, tell them, and then when it's job that, then you can now start the conversation that, oh, have you looked through it? What are you willing to pay? Sometimes someone came to me and asked me about the consulting service, and she said, how much is it? I gave her the price. She was like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm like, okay, fine. Then I gave her options that she could do. But when she said I was back, and that's fine. That's really fine. Another thing I do, because I like to be a financial is that I give 15 minutes free consulting. So that helps with my desire to do all things to all people. So at least I know that when you came, I gave you something, even if you did not continue with it, at least I did 15 minutes. And I picked that 15 minutes from the career coach that I worked with. With her, she gives you 15 minutes, 30 minutes to 30 minutes. And the value I got from that 30 minutes, I've still decided that when I can gather money, I'll still go. Because if you are giving me this for free, I wonder what the paid one would be like. So that's one of the things you can do. And to go to Brimo, because I'm calling him out now, I want to tell you a story that is Brimo's story. And I'm calling his name. So he and I were talking. And he told me that he did some, because he organizes events like school meetings, so he does the online thing, he makes sure that everything is running well. And he got into this really exclusive club that almost everybody is praying for. And so he said that it wasn't part of what they were paying him for, but he had curated a YouTube list of with a musical video, music, a lot of music. So that wasn't what they paid him for. But just at the end, he had just dropped the music. It was just something, and everybody was vibing to the music, and they were all like, oh wow, lovely playing. And the next time he and I were talking, he said they had called him back for him to come and be the DJ for their online event because of that. And he said the first of all was telling them that he's not a DJ. I told him you're a DJ in Jesus' name. Yeah, I'm a DJ. So I'd like him to give us feedback on that session. And Brimo, can you still hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, and I'm just laughing here. The event is on Saturday, actually. And it's this Saturday, and I'm going to be DJing for them.
You are going to do it, Abi?
Yes, I'm doing it.
Because you're a DJ in Jesus' name.
The other challenge, I was trying to tell you that the part of the challenges I had also was giving them a pricing, because they kept asking me, how much is the price? How much is the fee? How much is the fee? You understand? And it took me quite a lot. I had to talk to some DJs, check the equipment I'll be bringing, a lot of other things and all that before I eventually arrived at something fair that I built them for the work.
But you know that the reason why they are calling you is not for your fancy equipment. It's because of the way you were able to curate and all of that. Because another challenge that's still with me, and with many people that are creative, that we are overthinkers. So you want everything to be perfect. And I think that Omolara would have fallen into that trap if she kept going, as in, you can understand, I'm looking for DJ, someone that is a professional, that does it professionally. The speaker that you've been using since, is it not working? It's working well. I know Brimo, that is one thing this one. So if you're looking for that $750,000 equipment, because we've worked with all those international organizations and they have a standard, but I think it's good to have all of those standards, but sometimes I think it's helpful to also have some grades. So when you have to do work for people that require all of that, because that was one of the things we talked about in January. We were talking about when you have to maybe like the work he does some video editing, etc. And he needs to use very complex equipment. But there are some people that use cheaper things and they get lower quality and the price is lower, and so they're able to pay to the mass market does not care about all your fancy everything. So they are willing to go to those that are doing the less professional work. So what I told him back then in March, so that was like what I told him was that maybe you should have grades. You should be able to attend to.
They call them like low ticket offers.
Exactly.
Without those offers,
Your high-end offers. So you use the low ticket offers as your lead magnets sometimes. And then because some people that come in thinking that their issue is price, by the time they see your higher end, they're now like, oh, okay, this price is not too much for me. I can do this one actually. And they so they upskill. But even if they don't, at least they are still bringing in money. When I was in Ife, I learned of this guy. When he organized this show, and the show is like 1.5 or something, the same him will now go and print that 100 or 200 naira ticket, no budget ticket. Same him is selling 1.5 for the people that are VIP, and he's selling 200. So all the money will come into his pocket. So you're not going to pirate because there's someone who's already selling 200. You can't pirate below that. And so I learned something from it. It may not be the best way to do business, but I learned that there's a possibility for someone to do whatever you're doing in a cheaper way. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to also do and see what you can do to adapt to it. And people are willing to pay for it. So that means there's a market that you now need to see how to capture. So is there anyone else that wants to say anything about getting paying clients before we quickly go into time management for startup? I think Olabumi, have you? Okay, so you're breaking it down. Because like you're going to share your notes. But you've been writing since, so you're going to share at the end. Okay, so for time management, are we struggling with time management? And if yes, how, and for those that are not struggling, how do you manage your time? Because at the start of business owner, you're doing it practically everything yourself. So is anyone online that is willing to take this on? We are trying to engage those online as well. Otherwise, maybe I'll just let the people in the room speak. Anyone willing to talk about online?
For me, I think if there's anything that is
Okay, so maybe you should be teaching us.
there's no biggie about it. I understand my way, but I don't have that much experience. I stay. This morning I know that to make that big. So because of that, I have an appointment for let's say today. Looking for activities. I don't know what I will do for the rules. I don't know what says. So I don't know. Most of the time, get me and do that. I have to do it. My mother is very expressive. She jumps on things. I don't know. Sometimes you take your time. And I'll tell her, I remember when I was in school, you don't know your pack for school. When we start packing, and I tell myself, I do tell her, Mom, I started packing. And it's true, that's what I'm doing. In my head, I'm already saying this, I'm taking this shoe. I will do this traveling bag, that this I want to take. I will go shopping today. I'm already agreeing it. When I get to just go straight, do what I want. So I think I'm good with that.
Verify that pen to paper.
What I want, how I want. Kids making one of the reasons why I have to step back is to start having this business. I want to give back time. I don't want any buzz. So I don't want any complaint because then it's not me through it. It's nasty.
If you're doing tailor, you guys should actually match your energy.
So I just run away and ask this. What's having the best night? Still bring back the food for me. after 5 years, we come to place. I just want to do my brain based on and get it out there. In fact, I'm not interested in anything. I just take it out.
And so I think it's going to be your. I think she needs to join your handmade market so that you can enjoy it. Yeah, it's getting that kind of like that.
That nice. What we do here for one of them, they call it the
It's useful.
it's extra. You pay more. But if that's the case here, pay more for less revenue, pay more. Yeah, pay more revenue, and pay less, and you spend, so you can spend like a week on time.
So now we now know that we should stop dragging tailors. Because all of us that dragging tailors, we are all guilty. We are not paying them to work and to use the platform. That's why you have to
Yeah, so for people like us, I think that's why when I'm learning people like that, some artists that will never invite us to our music.
Okay.
Some of them, they are having like 3-4 events simply. Tell them I have because I'm not going to do things like they are providing for the best. With that, I want them to rest. I want them by then I'm mentally prepared. Not that when it's started by 10 I think they 10 or probably I always for you. Then just like asking, by the time you get there, you are not well organized. Start by the time you start saying, oh, you are not organized. When you get there, all the time, you're already prepared. You know what is going to say. But by that time, you already meet the person being there, get what you want to do, no root all. But after that, who are not, you know their names, you know this is how you prepare yourself. That's what people they have to get like 3 days in the same day. I used to do like that before. I want 3 days, I was going to this or I just tell it. But this I'm living just 1 hour, just all the time. But then they are all my bed. When you trap, I'm not that. You can't get the best of yourself. So that's why this is time to very, very important. Prepare yourself, help us to be at your best. Then, like always preparing ahead of the time. No, someone like most of the time I don't prepare. I need it. I'm understanding. So I work with most of them I'm saying I want to make up my head. And we got to see the reality. The time when I finish social, we got to see the reality. I just maybe even by having social without, but that might take most of all. I just think about the bags. For people like most of the time, I think I don't know like that. Just when I'm stressed, because sometimes I prepare. And if I don't job along the line, I have to know like the last year I was expecting that I won't have to use God alarm. Then there's some when it comes to people like that, and when I look to bed, that's what I'm doing with that. I like to come to my feet. So I do that. For instance, like I know that I'm doing, I put the program and I'm doing. I mean, use other people at least people because before those people are looking at working for long time and even by no prices, they know what I want. So that is how I remember that time I said, I think last year, the graduate that said, you know, home because of the story. I won't blame you. Someone like me, so sometimes I
because the question was like, is it that they
because sometimes people have this esteem that you feel like you feel like if I'm not just like if I'm not like this, I won't be my baby. I won't believe someone like that. But then we should always be able to always my sometimes. Not all the time I love to. Then in case of eventuality, in case if this doesn't come out, like sometimes you always get it as a friend. So that's why I said at the time I'm very important. So by the time you go into the one start for the person and move on. So you start your plan. And that will not be this person. Whatever it is that you need it as you make a part of it. I can't let you close to this. That's why when I do my activity, Because I'm going to get out. I paid them, I don't pay out. I paid them too. Okay, it's very authority. So that I don't know that I'm not ready. I'll do fight. That's why I paid them, I don't pay out. To sort there. And the other that is not ready. I'll do it to you.
Fight is fast.
I'll
That's
because-
the first time.
Yeah, because I paid you too.
Okay, so but from what you are hearing now, that your food money has not covered hotel money. Anyway, you paid what
No,
was
I
charged.
said 20 days. I paid 20 days. I said it's 20 by 30. And you also they are telling me to.
Hear you. Okay, so maybe feedback.
So on the contract, if you have said that price, so nobody does have to.
I think the key thing said it does not have to. If we told him 20K now and he was like, oh yeah, now customer.
Even if I negotiate, so far. So why you argue? Yes, no.
Okay, because we are very fair entering customer service and then, but they are all related. And so for me, one thing I like to do, when my customer begins to argue on price or something, because I'm an engineer too, so I also provide services. So when I'm charging you, I tell you line by line, I tell you I'm going to maybe reduce some documents, I'll put the number of days there, and I'll put my assumptions are good. So once we start negotiating or handling that, we don't stop on just price. Once I'm agreeing with you that we are reducing the price, we are updating the assumptions to say that that's because the reason why I reduce the price is because I'm not going to do X, Y, Z. In the organization I used to work with before, someone used to call me engineering lawyer or something lawyer engineer because my assumptions list are very, very, very well documented. So when I come down on the price, it's very clear to me why I do. So when you come back now and say, oh, you didn't put the fuel. I say, yes, we agreed I'm not putting the fuel. And I'll bring out my document in case you forgot, which takes me to documentation. There was a time I brought email of 3 years before, and that's what ended the conversation. Because when they started talking, I was like, I have this thing 3 years ago. You said you are not doing it. By the time I brought out the email, nobody. Because I guess so, this is a no blame organization. Let's move on. Because yeah, I knew that if I was not bring it, they would have me. But as I just brought it out, we just moved. So all those conversations, because business owners are not used to doing that. So you know, they're stressing you, okay, I said. So when they're stressing you, that's when can I call you back? Let me go and sleep. When I wake up, when I have the energy, we continue. Because I'm not going to agree on something unless we all agree. Okay, so to talk about time management from my end, one thing I like, I don't do it perfectly all the time, but I like what you said in terms of projects and all, but even in our day-to-day routines, we know most of the things that we can properly anticipate for the next day. So for example, I can imagine someone saying that, oh, of course, it's raining, so this is not a shade to anybody, but let's discount for the rain. Let's even consider it. I know that I have to be there by 10 a.m. Today. It's part of my itinerary. It wasn't something that someone just called me that babes, can you show up? Then now many things is not yet. But if I already looked at it, I have to do it at Wednesday by 10 a.m. I've been here before. Then in my mind, I estimated that in an hour, so I was here. And so I left home at the time. But by the time I entered that traffic jam, I think I told them I don't think I'm coming back here again. But that was because they went to enter all those inner places. But today I came and in about an hour or so, but I was here. But I already factored in that my terrible experience. So I left home far earlier than the show. I knew that I thought I would be here by 10. But what happens when your boss is that I think like 4 minutes and they say what I'm moving to. We take on more than we can actually handle. Because we usually overestimate ourselves. We don't delegate as well. So there are some things, for example, you're the CEO, you have a staff that works with you already. You are paying your staff, but it's the same you that is going to, you review every order, you do everything, and it takes us back to one of the sessions we had about documenting the process. So when you document the process, then you'll be able to figure out how much time it takes to do particular tasks. even at the same
On that particular, that is that this particular provision, anytime we write this, by the time we have done like 5%, not at all, give us that.
No, that's bad.
Not what that's all,
Bad
not but like.
bad behavior if when you charge you the school price. So I have a case currently that I'm dealing with. They want me to do work for them. I don't feel like I'm in the mental state to do work, but they are still insisting on asking me. So what that because first of all, the money is doesn't work, but they're not letting go. I told them that there's someone that I'm training. So I'm going to take this one as like a training opportunity for her. So she's going to be the one running this. But I'm not going to leave her just to go and run it. I'm going to join online, and then I'll be chipping in, right? So I felt on one hand, I'm really all for training the people that are upcoming. But I don't think you should be charging your clients for training your people. I think you should be willing at that point to make some adjustments and activities. So before they possibly in his mind, he feels that maybe they they're paying, but it hasn't been open about it. I also had a case during my wedding, they allowed that I was supposed to do the work. Collected and one in full before she showed up. Then she now called us back and told us that mother-in-law died. My sister said the mother-in-law will die in Jesus' name. But she now talked to me that I thought it's not your mother, that's why you're saying it. She now called us, no, my neighbor was that. Oh, no, so I knew it was a lie. So she sent one of her people, she probably had another event she had to go for. And so, because I believe I was asking her, because me, I really wanted to go to someone else. My thought was the one that said she wanted the celebrity and like that. And after that, I think you still want to learn. It was someone that was looking for work. She will show up so that you will not go and collect her customer. This one, your money, it doesn't even speak anything. So she probably had someone paying her. That's very bad. So if you're going to, and I feel like it's important to train the people under you. That's not a bad thing. But be transparent with the people you're dealing with. Let them know that, see, I won't be available all night. So if you need to get a discount, give them a discount for that. Then do so. That's the concept, but even at that, I don't think you should at the first time just let your voice handle it. Particularly if I'm paying you to show up. Yeah, I'm paying you. Yeah. It's just like a tailor or a fashion designer. I think you are willing to pay your money because you are the one that wants to do my work. Then you now collect my fabric, you now give it to your apprentice. The one that now complaining, now tell me that, sorry, apprentice you, they must check it. Yeah, it's okay, and I'm not finish work it. One of my friends, she kept disturbing me. Oh, please introduce me to your colleague. Introduce me to your colleague. Let me show for them. So when I was introducing her, I was like, this one, I like this one. Anything that happens, just manage her. My friends, they're like, because she makes something really nice. They're like, no. I said, see, that's your own mistake. Anything you see, just connect it. So she showed the first time she did, first time. She and the person, that one told her what she wanted to make. She took measurements. By the time she came to deliver, she didn't even come back. She sent one of her girls to come. That one I did the fitting. It wasn't fitting. In fact, the stones that they were supposed to, everything was shut off. The lady was now calling her. Next thing, my fellow friend was like, okay, but I just have all of this thing. Like the girl should go to the market and go and buy fabric, and give my colleague and she to bring the over. So yeah, I was just happy that I already put my card there. I didn't care. For someone saw me at Studio Airport once, one of the things she did. And she's like, oh, you're so good. I said, I'll give you a number. Anything you just connect like that. Because even me said that I think it's very cool that I see that I connect to her. So that's my target. I don't think that would be great to grow as a business owner. So back to time management. It starts with set up your day. You know what you can reasonably handle. I said you document your processes. You should be able to have an idea of how much time each step will take. And then many of us, we are over perfectionists. There are some things, for example, if I give, I'm going to speak as an example, that's what I know. If I give one of my junior engineers the spreadsheet to do data entry, for example, do the data entry. If you have free, I've freed up time for myself, right, to be able to do other things. And then when you're done with the data entry, I can review and see where you made mistakes and just correct in a few minutes. So you have learned how to enter the data. I have saved myself time, but we struggle to delegate downwards. Then sometimes there's some things that is beyond you. You don't have the resources. You can't do it. You have to learn how to delegate upwards as well. Know when you have to do it. Especially for those of us that maybe we work in, maybe you are in a partnership, or maybe you have a core, or you have partners, or you have a department. Some things you are not the one to take it. Sometimes maybe your accountant that you need to push that stuff to. But some of us, we want to see it, we don't want to they better not steal my money. Let me be checking. So you don't spend the time you should have spent to do deep work. They are using it to do mundane tasks, to micromanage others. So when you find yourself in that place where you are always busy, you need to sit down and write down what you're doing. Ask yourself, can somebody else do this thing better? Can I use technology? So this is another reason why you need to also use technology. Maybe some of the content that we're writing, maybe we need to ask GPT to set up the content, and then we will just review and humanize it. So we don't have to start with the beginning. Then it helps us save time. So is there anyone online that wants to say anything to that? Okay.
Hello. Yeah, not even about the time management per se yet, but I would want to talk about what you spoke about when you collected payment for a certain job and then you deliver something different, or you give the work to somebody different. So I had an experience kind of somehow similar to that about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks now, 1st of April actually. That was April Fool's Day. My best man got married.
So please, can you speak up? I think we are struggling to hear you.
Sorry. I just assumed that my sound would be super. Is it better?
Is it better? Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Is it better? Okay. So my best man got married on the 1st of April. And I decided to handle the. You see?
Please go ahead. You were telling us about experience.
Yes. So I was like the event manager, quote and unquote. So I wanted a particular set of equipment for the sound, for the hall, for the reception. And then I was working on getting people to handle that. When the wife said she knows a DJ and DJ is very good, and he lives close to her house, and he will do an excellent work. He has a lot of equipment, and she sent me a lot of videos and pictures and stuff with a lot of equipment the guy had. So I was like, okay, beautiful. So I called the DJ and spoke with the DJ, and I told him exactly what we wanted. The number of speakers we wanted, because I'm a media person. I understand all of those details and how they work and how you need to arrange them. So I told him, I said, this is the arrangement I want for the speakers. These are the number of speakers I want. These are the number of microphones I want. These are that and that. So I explained everything to him. And then he negotiated pay with the bride. And they arrived at, I think, 90,000 naira or so. Yeah, 90,000 naira. So he communicated. So he told, we spoke again after then. And the money was with me, of course. I asked him to send his account number. And he said he would send it. Eventually, I also told him I needed us to set up together because I've had a lot of experiences with vendors that are not very straightforward. You know, you discuss a particular thing, you know, what I ordered versus what I got. You understand? And all that. Yeah. So, long story short, midnight to the wedding, that was when the DJ guy appeared at the venue. And he brought fewer equipment than what we discussed and a different kind of equipment from what we discussed. So I was like, guy, this is not what we discussed. I told you what I wanted. I told you how I wanted the arrangement to be and all that. And you're bringing these things that would not serve for what we want. And he said, well, that his standard price as a DJ, his standard cost as a DJ is 300,000, and that we're paying him 90,000. So we can't expect him to carry all his equipment and bring to our venue with our 90,000 naira. So that the next day, which is the day of the wedding, that he has 3 different events and he has spread his equipment among all of them. And the person that is paying him the most is one that is getting the best equipment. And I was like, I don't get. Is it this midnight now? When I say midnight, I mean practically literally midnight. In fact, it was like 12:32. So it was almost like 1 a.m. of the day of the wedding that this guy is telling me this. And he's like, if I don't want the equipment he's giving me, he can just easily refund my money back to me. I was to say, hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, please continue.
You understand? To say I was in shock was an understatement, because I had to start racking my brains. Where can I get another sound person and then a DJ within now this time? Because most people will be sleeping. You understand? That will be able to get equipment, move them to this venue, and then the guys I know are far from that venue. You know, transport. It's like, God, what kind of evil is this? You understand? But the guy stood his ground, and all. So I called the bride, and the bride fortunately was doing her bridal shower. And I told her, I said, this DJ guy you brought for me is not a straightforward human being. This is what he's trying to do and all that. And he's trying to mess up your wedding. You know, and then the bride called him and, you know, talked and cried and whatever. The guy said, okay, that he will add one more speaker. Eventually, he still didn't do what I requested. Eventually, the challenges I foresaw that we're going to have with the sound, we still had, because like half of the hall could not hear the MC when the MC was talking, or when other people were giving votes of thanks and all that. Most people could not hear. You understand? Because of the number of speakers he brought and the positioning of those speakers. But at least they were able to hear the music. And DJ came and met me and was saying, can I feel the music? Can I feel the music everywhere? And I was like, guy, hold on. A wedding reception is not just about music. It's also about the talking. People will talk. People will pray. People will ask for other people to do certain things. People would, you know, share certain things that other people even sitting at the back may be able to learn from. Married people, single people might be able to pick a few things from the conversations that will happen at the wedding reception that will help their lives. But now you've denied all those people all that simply because you're thinking differently and thinking money and so on. And I kept wondering to myself, of course, something else I told him was that the way I work, even if I am doing a job for you for free, as long as I accept and agree. The other brother there with you, the one that is an actor, I know, he mentioned something like that. As long as I accept that I'm going to do this work for you, I bring the Brimore touch to that work. Because for me, it's about me. Yes. For me, it's about me. It's about Brimore. Tomorrow, when that job is being talked about, I most likely will not be there to explain that they didn't give me money or they gave me small money or something. They just ask, who made this video for you? It was Brimore. Or who MC'd your wedding? Or who DJ'd your wedding? It was Brimore, and he didn't do well. Well, my Brimore will never not do well. I will always do well. But then, you know, to just mention the person's name and say the person didn't do well and all of that. And nobody would understand. The bride will not explain that we paid the person short. You understand? But I keep wondering too, how do we guard against these kind of issues? How do we prevent such from happening? Aside our own selves, one. Then two, how do we handle it with other people? If we're working with other vendors, that's two. Then three, my standpoint, is it wrong? Because it was now looking like I was one that was wrong by insisting on the same standard and quality for whether I'm paying nothing or I'm paying everything.
Okay, so then what I really I have asked like 3 questions. I think Omolara will be in a good position to speak about the one about working with other vendors, because people have to come on your platform and they may not share your personal values. So how do you manage the case where you have your own personal standards? I think you also perhaps have those types of experiences. Not sure between.
I don't have, and I'm shying away from that. I
Please, can she move closer to the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's saying that that is one of the things that makes her not want to collaborate, right? One of those issues that makes her not want to collaborate. So I'd like to hear from people that is more or less their bread and butter. How do you manage a case where you know your quality, you know what you want, and then you, let's say for example, you advertise this head wrap that's going to be done by ABC, and you've shown us giving us an idea of what you should do, but then ABC is now coming up to come and more or less mess up what you've done. Have you had a good experience?
But we live those experiences, like we breathe them every day, right? So, like you said, of course, you need to protect yourself as a person, your peace of mind. You need to protect your sanity. You need to protect your brand. So, of course, you have to put some things in place, because people seem to just wake up in the morning and their goal for that day is to frustrate you.
Somebody's like,
Especially when we talk about artisans, I work with a lot of makers, people that have their own businesses. They just, okay, so in fact, there's so many experiences, I don't even know which one to talk about, right? But the fact is that if you don't want to be messed up over and over again, and you have to work with these people, you have to set your standard, and then you have to be able to stick to your standard. Okay, for example, I just confirmed an order anyhow this morning. So this one is an old customer, he buys parachutes. So he went on the website, then he sent me screenshots like I should confirm availability. So lo and behold, by the time I reached out to the maker, the seller that makes this parachute, she goes like, oh, because the guys made a screenshot, they showed the price. The price has been there since last year. Every day I'm on the platform, I'm shouting, update your listings, update your products. I know prices change and all of that. Or materials go out, so you can't replace them. So make sure you are updating this thing. Go on that website and see what is posted. Now the shirts were listed at 9,500. You now see the screenshot, say yes, they are available, but the price has changed. So what do you want me to do? The customer has seen this price. So we now have to go back to him and say, okay, no, our price, that it shows inefficiency on our part and all of that. So that's just one example. And then people don't, you put out something and then you're asked to deliver, and then you want to deliver something else entirely. So from the onset, one of the things that we work with is we do quality control. So you're listing your products on the marketplace fine. You are promising them they will get this thing. So by the time the customer orders, many of them are like, oh, and let me just send to the customer to pay. I say, I don't work like that. We send to my office. We check it. We make sure it is what they ordered for. I've had to do a refund and retract a product from Ibadan. You know, the logistics cost and all of that. So that was early days. So we're making sure that you are delivering what was asked for. So on when you are signing on with one of the conditions, you are sending to the office and they cost something. So you know how to factor that in. So from the office we check it and then we dispatch to the customer. So we have to put those checks and balances in place. If not, in fact, there will be nothing to stand for again.
no business.
No business again.
Mr. As an MC and someone that has to work with other people to make it an event well. So I think I like the fact that you're here to attend to what because at least in the Monarch case, you can still do some level of quality control. So maybe you have all your plans, everything all set up. And then the messing up is coming from people that are not directly under your personal control. So maybe, for example, the children of people doing the day, they will say, I know, is this video that I want you to work and this video. But you know, everyone just, they are the one everyone is seeing on stage, everyone is saying that you are the one that should have brought the video. And then you now go with you don't want to go with your signature stuff or that, but the video is just another thing, doing something. And you're saying, how do you manage all this type of things where these people are people that are providing services that will impact on your reputation, but you don't have control over it? How do you manage?
I think I've never found a place that for people to sign, I always get the know that. Like sometimes I walk to the church that don't plan on Saturday and they don't to plan with them. And then the church I'm planning last week in June, don't to plan for them. Because I went to their church, I saw that they are I'm saying this church, they're planning the contract, not church member, they are bringing for that. This is the you have in the church, I can't walk to the map to bring. You want to be in charge, but I won't organize it and invite those who will come and those who will bless your mind. My God, so you go to work with me. This is what I want. Okay, in case you don't have this, you can come down. I have a people that are going to go with the capacity. You go to work with one. But in case we are farmers, we are I always find out people around. Maybe probably about to say what to do, I won't align to do our picture and tell this is what I want to do at that time. That's the only management from extent that we do to start.
Okay, I don't know if you have anything. Okay, so I'll speak first of all because I've worked in an organization where we were part of a consortium. So different people were bringing different things. And so when you're in the consortium, first of all, since you know that your reputation is at stake, typically we try to run like risk assessments before we start. And we identify all of these issues. The reason why I mentioned the risk assessment is, of course, I don't expect in these cases for us to do those types of formal risk assessments. But you can individually look and see what are the things these people can do to mess me up as a person that will impact on me. So you can do a personal risk assessment and come up with like a checklist. So if you are coming to give me a vendor that I must work with this vendor, I'm going to tell you that if I don't have a problem with working with your vendor, but these are the things that I expect your vendor to do. So for example, we have 90K. I think that communication was not complete. And so from both sides, I think both sides had an issue there. So you have 90K. So what are you paying 90K for? Again, I'm very big on communication and documentation. So I'm paying you 90K for, you list all the items that you're paying for. So, like for me, when I facilitate workshops, they declare, we want you to do preparation for, I charge them for that. We want you to run the workshop, I charge them. We want you to write reports, I charge them. I have some other reports.
The vendor didn't do that.
And so the vendor didn't do that, but even the person that is contracting the vendor, you should actually write out a scope of what you want the vendor to do for you. It may not be a formal, because for me, in the organization I work with, if I tell you that, oh, I need handmade material to do some work for me, they're going to ask me to come up with a scope of work. But what do you want handmade material to do? Then I send it to everyone to review. Anybody that wants to add anything, they add. Anyone that wants to subtract. So when you are quoting, you are giving us quotes per line item. So when we are negotiating per line item. Then we come up with a total sum. So if anyone will just come and say, your money is 50K. It's only 20K I have. Even if I'm going to accept that 20K, we are going to go line by line. You will now ask, do you need it for 20K? Can I go accept the money you are giving me for that 20K? We still break down that 20K to what it will cover. So that by the time I'm delivering, you cannot come back and say, oh, so for example, that guy that charges 300K, what do you charge 300K for? Break it down. So you have, so many times we shy from those pre-conversations. Then we now have a lot of conversations after the fact. Instead of
okay, only like right as a text, I'm tagging you. What am I doing now?
Write down the X.
I think what
I'm sorry, we're losing the conversation here. We're not getting you guys.
like someone on, is there someone online that wants to speak?
No. I think someone was saying something there and I couldn't hear what the person was saying.
Okay, so we are having a conversation. You're saying that in some industries, it's difficult for you to break down what you're charging for. But the thing is that this is why it's difficult.
My boss actually take it and like go down. They were saying that somebody called for the graphic show and charge the person 1.5. And when it's okay, what if I'm dropping my camera? He said, you still charging my mouth. Yes, he said, you are being still charging my mouth. I'm not charging, I'm charging for my time.
Okay, but another vendor would say that, oh, if you're going to bring your equipment, I will be able to come down. So I find it easier by the time I'm listening. What am I actually charging to other people? Is it just 8 hours of time? Even if it's just my time.
When you just say my time, you need to
What are you doing with your time?
It's like
yeah, your presence. Yes. One thing like that, I will speak, I will play music, I will operate the speaker. After the event, I'm going to tidy up. After the event, I'm coming with 2 people, 2 assistants. Those are the expectations. So there's always something you can measure. I'm living at this time. That's why you will not forget to do something from the game and say, I'm done, I've done, So there must be.
So that's what helps you define what that 300K is for. So when someone now wants to negotiate, you cannot say, oh, I don't need you to come with a talking drum. They can say, okay, let's do this because okay, you don't need to talk. You document that. So that when you now show up without a document, a talking journal, you don't now come and say, Mr. Davidson, we know you will talking journal, but you make it less tender. On this case, in this case, I'm not going to come with a talking journal because you are paying me 92. I normally charge 300K, and my 300K includes coming with cigarettes. And I come with a journal.
So you won't suddenly say, because pay 92, you're not bother to bring this. When you did not inform me before, that I am.
So it's basically that communication that usually is. So when you are negotiating, when you are accepting to go down, why are you accepting to go down? Is it because you are going, okay, no, but let's use Handmade Nigeria. Maybe Handmade Nigeria has 4 or 5 days that do the same thing. They come at different prices. So maybe she already knows the quality and the level. Yeah, I'm not like, see, madam, my budget is just 5K. I don't have that quantity on your budget on your website. That you have anything for 5K. You can think, oh, this person that is on CRT she should be able to meet this order. But that one will not have the skills, will not have the grammar. So it's going to take person less time. It's not going to be a simple dress. So there's always, they have to have basis for our negotiations. So when we to answer your question, Brimo, I don't know if you answered it. Please go on.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to say that in this my own case, right, we actually had proper communication. Before I even spoke with the DJ, I had explained to the bride and the groom, we had a vendors meeting, though the DJ was absent. But in the vendors meeting, I explained to everybody present that this will be the speaker arrangement. And the reason why we would arrange this speaker like this is because the hall is long. If you use just one set of speakers, the sound will not throw all the way to the back. So we need to have like a delay system of speakers in the middle so that those speakers in the middle can drive the sound to the back. So I explained all of that. When I spoke with the DJ, I explained to the DJ also that this is exactly what we want. I also told
What
him,
was
I
the
said,
DJ's
I know
feedback
that,
when
you
spoke?
say?
What was the
Hello?
DJ's feedback when you spoke?
He said that the money is really small for what we are asking for, but that it's not a problem.
And you had that documented for me.
You say?
You had that documented, and as in, it wasn't just
No,
a
no, no,
verbal.
it was a phone conversation. It was a phone conversation. And he said it wasn't a problem. And yes, and I also explained to him why I wanted the speakers that way. And he said that normally he would not do it, but that he will do it for my sake, because we discovered that we had mutual friends, and then he had heard, according to him, he had heard so much about me. He was looking forward to meeting me because he felt I might be able to move his business up to maybe like the next higher level of his business. And all that. Because the other thing I told, yeah, the other thing, hello?
Sorry, our speaker is coming up. Our speaker
Okay,
is
okay.
We are trying to work on
Hello, is it better?
Yeah, we are trying to I don't even know how to. Okay. Okay, so you want to connect by to the speaker by Bluetooth.
Okay. Are you using a laptop?
Yes, we're using a laptop that is about to die.
Hey, well.
I was wondering when it was coming. It should be on now. Yeah, it's charging now. We want to connect to. Something happened to my extension box. All these village people work, but it didn't work. So we're supposed to discover it. Where is it? It's discovered. It's Annie's. Annie's. So Bluetooth, add Bluetooth. Bluetooth speaker, right? Who's your Rimo watch? Sorry, we are trying to get onto our Bluetooth device.
It's all right. I just hope the Bluetooth device doesn't take over your microphone.
It's supposed to.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to take on over, so we'll be speaking into it. Okay, you mean the microphone as well? We are still looking for it anyway, so we can continue the session. Though it's raining here in Lagos, so we are not rushing anywhere. Anyway. Okay, so
Okay.
while we are waiting, while we are looking for.
Yeah. So the guy made me understand that he was going to do it. Now, I think what happened in his case was the fact that as at the time we negotiated and agreed, he didn't have any other job that day. Hello?
We are listening, but we are also looking for
Bluetooth.
Is it the one that is the most micro sound? Okay, okay, still, I hope it comes up. Okay, so for me, first of all, I think there was a lot of emotions and all involved in this your conversation. There was a lot of how do I say it? There was personal. It got too personal. So if I'm working with someone that I know people I typically work with, right? And I have how do I say it now? I have the things I normally do, but now they are not asking me. Okay. You're not asking me to work with people that I don't know. I'm not going to go in first of all with all the sentiment. Okay, I found it. Amas, right? Yeah. Yeah, I found it. So I won't go in initially with. Can you hear us? Okay, done.
I
This
can
one.
hear you.
Okay, you can still hear us. Okay. All right. So for me, I will start off with all that friendship thing. We are not yet friends. See, when we do that first one, and you first of all impress me before we now start doing all those, even then, family member, I told you that this lady that makes clothes for me, anytime anybody wants to work with that, I give them the caveat ahead. Because I know that when it comes to business, people have different ethics from you. They've always wanted to work with you. They like the brand, but sometimes they don't want to pay the price it takes to get to that brand. Because for you, for example, your word is your word. You've agreed, whether you're charging 300K or 90K, you're going to bring your full self to it. That's not his own ethics. But until you had that your first experience. And so for me, anything I'm doing with you that involves business, we are documenting, we are writing. Even if it's WhatsApp chat, if I think it's something that we need to document, I will carry all the things that we said on WhatsApp, I'll put them in an email, and we document in an email that, oh, per agreement, you're going to show up by 10 a.m. And this is so and so. Very clear. And because once and I next one of that from Paula. Paula is my friend. When she was editing my book, we didn't do WhatsApp. I wanted to be doing WhatsApp. She was like, this is email. And when you see the email, I'm like, I do not Paula my family. It's not very formal. I mean, the word is very, very formal. So there was no opportunity for dragging. There was no opportunity for dragging anything because she was very clear, fair, and so for her, the reason she said she does that is that she can be quite forgetful. And even WhatsApp chats, well, things get lost on WhatsApp and all. So sometimes I'll send her something on WhatsApp and because how far she'll say, oh, check your email. She will reply me by email. So as of there's a trail of emails. I know that for people that will write them, maybe a bit more difficult, but it is doable. This can be done. So those are the things that we need to invest more in. So for another thing that is afraid to collaborate, I think you should not stop you. But you just need to, your fear is not found. But it's just that it should not be a showstopper. I would personally recommend that you should work with someone like Mara that knows how to deal with it. If you ask your family to get on this handmade platform, and you begin to learn, because particularly for people that are just coming into business, they are coming from a place of friendship. They are used to, oh, okay, so maybe I'll just slide into your DM. Let's go to the DM and all. So when most times like when someone else was like, oh, you make sales faster on Instagram, and I'm thinking in my mind that if you block yourself faster, because you should still putting unnecessary friendship and unnecessary sentiments, because we are humans, we are naturally sentimental. I see someone that went to my university or my secondary school, very born there. Oh, did you know me? So people are saying laughing and doing all of that. Remind me of when I was 7, when we got to where we were living. My roommates that I met there, two of us, we divided the room into two. It was very clear where our demarcations were. We put our buckets in different places. Everybody had their space. So we divided first. We didn't first of all come and go like such a Yoruba. We first of all started day your day, there was a day she now went out, she came back late, she couldn't food. I offered her food. Then we now started the friendship from there, and we are still friends today. There were some people, they came with all those we take it for them. I don't know if they're still talk with each other. So it's really like that. Let's establish those boundaries. So when we are doing work, if it's business, we are not doing church anything. I remember telling my dad then when he was going to get some tenants. This was from my church. They write everything you want to write on paper. let it be clear. What are you paying for? What so if they so sometimes maybe I have to facilitate a workshop. They are asking me, okay, they say they have 90K. I say, okay, me, I can only do a half day event for 90K or just 2 hours. So it's still my time. But I'm not going to give you my whole day. So I'm going to give you my hourly rate in that case. So if maybe if my hourly rate is 45K per hour, okay, you know you can afford 2 hours of my time. That's what I can give you. But you're not going to pay me the money for 2 hours and expect me to spend the full day. So I was talking about people and said that I'm thinking of coming down their offer. So what I'm giving them is that so this young lady is going to come and put some present with you. I'm going to join in on that. So obviously I'm not going to spend all my day on that. I'm going to do other things. So although it's still my time, I have done such that I have delegated. I'm not going to be, maybe I'll just have my earpiece on while there's something so that we're done that time I need to come. I can then go like, okay, if I like to speak, I'll speak at that time. But I can't go and do that thing. I'm not sitting in the hotel because if I go physically, I can't go and do anything. I really hate it when people come to workshop and then they have their laptop, they're doing other things. But of course, I know that but I just feel that if I know that I really have to, I will join online. I'll be to laugh at me and for that place of work. We'll be doing workshop on the second floor. I'm on the third floor and I'll be joining online. Because like no, it's no. I'd rather be online and know that I'm still participating better than to come here and then I know that I'm of course I know that I'm not affordable. That's what I so I told them that if you still want me to do this work, I will join them. And so that I won't get involved with that. All those one because we never try to do that. So traffic on the zone is an issue. So if you want me to come and do your work and you want me to come in person, you will pay me more than if I join online. Because when I'm coming in person, I have to do that all those extra things. So I think those are things that can help you decide your time. So it's your time. But so that's why I like to tell you. How what time does it really take to do this? If you're not coming with instruments, you're not coming with anything, break it down. How much do I want to charge people per hour as an MC? Instead of just giving them rates, you can be giving them hourly rates so that if they know that their own money, you cannot afford to pay them for the whole day. Okay, you know what I'm going to do for you. If you have one cousin that knows how to talk, let your cousin be talking. And you show for 1 hour. No, now that will not end with that. Let's start with fight so that we will end with friendship. Instead of starting with friendship and ending with fight.
No, some people in the job training, you feel like they are my thing. They will invite you for events. You won't talk with them. Now you be like, now taking them. When I'm inviting somebody to church, I'll ask them to church. Don't invite people that last year. As a company, I'm normally you can't check this immediately. I want you normally. But I want to carry that. You know my business now. Now there is no because it is in June of the whole day. I can say when you said they have no that about it, I think that well, after this is when I'll talk about it actually come. But I didn't do that. We can have a view. There is no because it is June. I will charge for it. I think this is what no matter go to charge. This is what they will because I will go. But people will be like because you can't but not do that. Next time move on. So that's all these boys. If I call them, don't go because I treat them as they are going to. How much for them?
So I believe we have entered this relentless helpfulness and customer service thing really deeply. Okay, this one of us. I'm looking for people that owe me money. You know, to call me. All right. So basically, so maybe we can not talk about it there because I think 3 points. Mhm.
I think
They're all interrelated. So,
nice.
I like that you said I'm going to all the same. Customer service is important. Relax. I'm not gonna talk to you. Actually, when I was in university, that was my answer. I used to tell them that we on that now. Let us go be clear. Let's start from that point.
I noticed that people that say that principles, they want everything to be out, then go the line. Because you see all these sentiments that over familiarity, you will still get blamed for doing the right. So why not assess the records?
Okay, so having said that, I've also now learned that in business, you have to be kind. I think even if you're not going to be nice, you should be kind. So customer service built from the point of that you recognize that customer. I don't believe that customer is king, like king. There are still some cases where you need to work. I think what I'm learning to do is to ask myself, is there anything more I can do to make things better? So before I answer, because sometimes I will block, so I'm not exactly, we can't working in like next to the well, that behavior, you use videos and videos for that. So I'm learning to calm down before I go and block. First of all, sleep over it and then I think about it and ask, okay, is there anything I can reasonably do to salvage this relationship? But if I think and I still think that this is, you know, I may block, but I'm saying I will stop blocking. There was a time that God came for me about this blocking matter. So I'm feeling the morning. That's what the people like
My WhatsApp. I feel some people are just not.
I just monitoring
It's just on
spirits.
it.
If I wake up and I feel alone, that's not okay. And start this idea.
Let's go. Don't even ask.
It's not for me. So they are quite not taking so don't get it like this. It's in church. And not that. No, they have to work for me. But you not that to talk for me.
People, some of them. I don't know anything. So me normally I don't want. So now I'm learning that okay, let's talk that let's talk online talking. Let's behave like responsible business owners. So for me, I believe that as much as possible, this is my new mantra. Because before it was not my so that was my personal. They are not even friends. Let's not start with friends. If you become friends later, that's fine. But I've learned that there are opportunities. You don't always have to go out ready to fight. And the said to be that okay, I think there is a food that will say go do that. But don't go with fight. But if they come, what I tell my food, I don't go and have food for sure. But make sure that you don't come back crying. Make sure that the people that you deal with, they know that they let someone. A lot of people. So I think people like Manara are just seated to talk about the necklace of the customer
You
service.
just have to be able to remove yourself from that situation, especially when it's escalated and emotions are involved.
Because I think there was a case in Manara where the person went on your Instagram handle and was calling you a scammer. I'd like you to talk a bit to that. How we manage that.
Already,
Even though there was one incident late last year, I was like, even they acclaimed customer retention. Even I
Your voices have disappeared, though. Your voices have disappeared. Hello.
Who muted us? We did not
I
mute
wonder.
ourselves. Oh. Yeah,
I
now,
wonder.
can you hear us now? Okay, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Like, don't get emotional. So the person is the customer, not your friend, not your neighbor, not your village people self. Just, don't get emotional. When the parents saying this one, don't stay professional. Yes, it's tempting sometimes to be like, sorry, just keep being professional. Just keep saying, just stay on one level. Don't go up. Don't come down. Don't come down as in sorry. When you start saying sorry, you've accepted it. That's not.
I need to get before and I let it slide. She came back. When she came back, I don't have any people. But I told her, no, but I can look around and move and do it. Said, so what about this? I mean, I can't do it. So I called do the job. So I guess I wanted to get permission. Probably being hard, just allow the job to just make it. I was on board. So I told her she would come in. And what she did to me, I told the girl, like you always, I give her, you have to be smart, me like just to be sure to stay on. And so we had a verbal agreement. So after a while, I wanted to change. And now told her that if you want to change the thing, then just go back to the past. I will send you the past. By the time I
It was you and the other.
yes, I just told them, let me handle it. Say anything. So when I sent the contract to her, she just said, you know, if you really want to do the way we should have done it for us, this is that. So we are ready. She not wanted to see us. I didn't allow that. So I lost your code. It's funny because the way you mirror other people's emotion.
Yes.
When you started reading her voice,
allow them.
when you started reading her, you should go to the eventually
Going off, and you're just there. Once they will eventually come out.
That's what happened eventually. Just that you have to have sense. It reminds me of the time when so someone had done the classification. And I was the person that was supposed to review and say that the work was already done. So he had sent in a thing also, so and I was to approve that the work was well done. So I knew that I had some reservations on how we had done the work. So I was going. I think I'd written that they need improvement in the documentation for them. But I knew that there was going to be part. But I knew this vendor had someone inside, so there was a bit of politics involved. So I went to my manager ahead to speak with my manager for him to review what I had done, so that I won't be just me anymore. Unfortunately, my manager also had reservations with the same person. So in fact, my manager marked down something that I marked up. So immediately we sent I think it was the job completion. Immediately the vendor got it. He just called me directly. And he was there ranting. I was like, I've booked you multinational, none of them are. So So I knew that I could go back and be speaking to him with the same energy, but somehow God helped my sense that day. So I just kept quiet. I was like, please hold on, sir. Can you let me speak? And then he just went on and on. Because it's a business owner. I'm an employee. So he no, so I was like, so what are your new concerns? So I explained to him why I gave him the score I gave him. I explained to him that the other ones came from other people that may be able to explain. But you know that it was the person who knew in the system that already gave him the heads up because we had just sent the email and the call came immediately. So he didn't have enough time to review what we said. So most likely the other person might be giving the heads up. So he just went on and on and on like, hey, I've worked with this one, worked with this one, worked with this one. They did not come, have this type of feedback from me. I know like my feedback made marked him down like like maybe he got a B, or was expecting a B. And I clearly stated the areas that he wanted. So he went on, so I was like, "Sir, this is the reason why I said this." And then he was like, no, I'm not going to accept this. I won't accept this. So I said, okay. But I now went to my project manager because it was my engineering manager that had approved before. So I sat with my project manager and I asked him to look at it because at least I also trust the judgment of the person I'm going to. It's one of the people I still trust. So I asked him to give me objective feedback, as in since he's not involved with emotions and whatever, I should look to and tell me things we could have done better to avoid this instance. And so he looked at it and then he asked me that did we send them our expectations regarding how the documentation should be before they started work? And my answer was no. So he said, so that is an opportunity for improvement. So many times, all of those things are getting us angry. There's an opportunity somewhere in the middle of this. But because our emotions are so into it, we can't see it. So what I typically like to do when I have all of these customer feedback these days, now that I'm getting set, I'm saying this so that you know that I don't always answer. I usually send to people that are third party, people that I trust their business. I send them the details, look at it, tell me objectively, what would I have done better? Or am I doing this person don't think yours? Most often than not, there's something the customer is actually trying to say, but they may not be saying it well. So I had a case with someone, this was done general case with cancer. So he had shared it's an atheist, so we've been having a lot of faith-related conversations came up. And I was getting a vibe from him that he was feeling like I was a dog because I'm a believer. I usually get that a lot from atheists. I feel like they are more intelligent and those of us that are believers. So there was that vibe going on. So that day I just posted something about a woman that saved a child from a tiger. And she saved that child, and then that was the story. And then he came as a comment and said that, oh, that's not possible, that there's no way a human can fight a tiger. So I was like, why would you be, as in you were not there, you are in your house. How can you be negating someone's experience without, you are not even anywhere near them for you to be, so we went back and forth on that, but I was traveling that day. So I think I kept saying that, so you're sitting in your house, you are making this session and all. It was not like, so by the time I had to go on that. And by the time I came down landed, I saw that he had blocked me and he had sent me a long message on why I was disrespectful to me, something. And he blocked me. So I was like, what wrong with this one? So I now took screenshots of everything that happened and shared with some of my friends. That please look at this thing. And what did I do that made me detect block? So they were like, oh, maybe what got him off was that I kept saying you're sitting in your house. And so that was what they showed me. I said, oh, okay. So I had another opportunity to reach out to him outside of the blocking space. So I sent him a message. So he was like, he replied after some days and he's like, yeah. I just felt like I was suspecting him on my face. So I still don't get your point, but I hear you. So I think that's where the point of relentless helpfulness or customer service also comes in. When you get that feedback, most times it's our emotions that react. But like what the Mother said, you should stay on that level place. But sometimes you're not able to achieve it on your own. You may want to involve someone else to help you. I remember the reason why I knew about one that Mulawa sent me the screenshots. She was like, I see what's going on. How far? What do you think? And I think we even talked about it in the startup for the right. I'm not sure. Okay, no. But I know that I went to and I was like, I was this one.
That particular didn't end so well in that. Okay, and which brings me to it brings me to the last point I wanted to is that especially when it's product based business, I'm not sure if it applies to the service. It's that when you operate from a place of you're not desperate, I don't want to assume that it's level for everybody. But one thing that always works for me is when you are able to inform people. It just kind of brings them. I mentioned the one Ibadan woman, a grandma that ordered something. Eventually, what she got wasn't. She didn't like it. She felt it was different from what she ordered, and then she went, "Well, oh, you did some like that. That's nice. It's online." When I was actually in a program at the time, so I think that quality control step, we missed it. I looked at that product, people thought this thing, what it wasn't up. You know what I did? I was like, man, called my assistant where I was running my car. This woman returned her money. She's going to send it back to this. So I just told her, ma'am, you have been informed. How soon can you give it back to the where she just I was like, okay. It's just that the color is different. So they don't expect it sometimes. Able to do that, it's nothing about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about the money.
Because let me speak to that. So let's try to work in grammar school. Maybe somebody just try to convince her that buy online. Because me, I'm not a quick online. I'm not a quick one to adopt online buying and all of that. I like to go and see what I'm buying because all the people that sold hair
and then you about bad experiences online.
So I think when you try to step into your customer's shoes as well, you see where they're coming from, and you won't be acting with so I won't tell or the people that scam them will not tell
I remember one something happened with the I just wanted to figure out that improve yourself don't expect so the lady like I don't want to tell the woman that what she was that was Mama should be a one that
It seems your network has disappeared though. Because we don't have you here anymore.
Recording in progress.
Can you hear us now? Are we back?
Yes, this is a hallelujah moment. Yes, this is a hallelujah moment for us.
And we are disconnected. We were gisting away. I don't know what you heard that because we were enjoying the gist.
Imagine that.
I wanted to ask that. When I don't know, did you hear about when I was talking about the contributory scheme that I met Oladuni on?
No.
What was the last thing you heard? Because the class might be an issue. We're not sure, but anyway, we basically started with the relentless helpfulness. We talked about building trust with our customers because I don't know if you heard the Molara story about the woman that ordered something from her and she gave her a refund, and that really builds trust. Did you hear that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
It was
Okay,
while
so
she was talking that I think the audio went.
Okay, so while she was saying that, then I think I picked up on building trust because I think that's part of the relentless things you can do for being relentless. Because what we picked from the story she shared about the grandma is that when you step into your customer's shoes and you look through, you see, and we're saying, I don't know if you heard when Omolara was saying that try to maintain the same level. Don't go up, don't go down. Don't accept the things that you did not do, and don't try to put to your customer what they don't deserve. Don't match their emotions.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if you feel like you may need help, it may be helpful for you to share with a third party that you trust to help you look through what you're dealing with to see if you're the one that is overreacting, or if it's customer, or if there's anything more that can be done. But of course, you have to be open to feedback there. Because sometimes what happens is that you share, and then you now find yourself defending yourself to the person that is trying to tell you the truth. I've seen that happen. Then I picked from there to when Omolara talked about refunding her customer and that building trust. Until today, the woman is one of her major customers because the woman now feels more comfortable doing business with her because she immediately got a refund while they were still talking. So I mentioned that when I first met Oladuni, it was when I was doing this contributory scheme back in 2019. And today is my first day of seeing Oladuni face to face. But we've been interacting online. And I didn't know her. So she was, we started the contributory scheme on the Facebook group. I was helping a friend with. So it was one of the things. So I was there a lot. And there was a time when it was trending that people, alajos were taking people's monies and using them for other things. So I reached out to the people that were contributing with me to ask them if they wanted their money back because of the online things. I know I won't get their money, but at least let me be sure that they're comfortable. And to be honest, some people collected their money back and it was okay. Because I just didn't want anyone that was saying just because of peer pressure. But Oladuni continued with me. And she said something about, so I asked her, and so she said, oh, that even me coming to come and ask her those questions made her feel more comfortable with me. And so I think about that time, I asked her that, so how did you even know about me? I said, why would you come and give someone that you've never met your money? And so she was explaining to us, maybe we will say that.
I guess I checked friend lists. So we have some friends in common. And those people that they have in common, they are sensible people. They are very well connected. So based on that, I thought that we had social, yeah. Social,
the Yoruba is all over that's where the Maboko. So you know somebody that knows somebody that knows that. So she can't run away with your money because you will go and meet her in her house. if anyhow, so that I think that was when we discovered that we had lost those online. So basically, I think that this roundtable discussion has been a very fun one, but we should be moving on and be getting ready to round up at about this time. So can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay, we've already done the growth thoughts. Thank you. So next slide, please. Okay, so next is planning for second quarter of 2023. We're already the end of the first month of this. This is one where we are supposed to bring out our writing materials on rights for our individual businesses. Each a couple of us in different states. We're supposed to write what we want to, by the time we're looking back at the end of second quarter 2023, we want to know, we want to be able to go back and say that based on this, I wrote this down, and this is where I am. Of course, we start with just planning. Ideally, maybe I'll use our vision board to guide us, because for our vision board, I think that we went first of all to legal, what legal things you have to do for your business, make your business more popular. Because some of us, the reason why people are not investing in us, for example, let's say you don't invest, you should at least have some NAFDAC registration or something of the sort. So what type of registrations do you have to do? Maybe you want to set some goals around that. People online, please make sure you're writing, because you're going to share. You share, if you want to share from your screen, that's fine, otherwise you just speak. So please just write down, these are the things I want to achieve for my whatever business, whichever of your business you want to pick up for. That's fine. So you will have about 3 minutes to write each on legal. So you can do legal, add taxes if you want to do that. Anything regarding your business. So you're just looking for time out. Because I think you need to do that has to do with the regulatory compliance. I think we should use that word. I was kind of hoping that Paula would run this session, but because this kind of like afford it. I think I'm a good learner. I should be able to go. If you're ready to move on, please let me know. Online people, can you hear us? Online people, are you still with us?
Online.
Are you still with us? Are you doing your vision board? Are you reviewing your goal?
People, though, we are here, but we're not hearing you very well. Your sound. Hello? Hello?
Okay, we can hear you.
The sound is echoing. Okay, but we can't hear you clearly.
So there's an echo. Okay. Let me drop you a chat. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find something that should be able to guide me better. One I'm seeing for myself, not guiding me. So for writing the book. Yeah, I wanted, do you have the templates? Okay. I'm looking for, okay, I just wanted to help us look at different areas that will help our businesses. Because I know that there's regulatory, okay, there, I think the next one is operations. The next one is your operations. What do you need to do better this set of water regarding your business operation? Okay, so while we are on operations, I'm going to go to category 3. Category 3 is staffing. Or human resources. Category 4 will be increasing your customer base. Let's do category 4 to customer retention. So, customer retention. What? Okay, 3 is staffing implement your internal, apart from your operations, who are the people that are going to do whatever it is? What do you need to do regarding staff? The 4 is customer retention. That will depend retaining existing customers. And the 5 will be increasing your customer, bringing in new customers, increasing your customer base. So in increasing your customer base, also think about how you can go into new markets, who are the new people, and what more can you do to attract the type of paying customers you want. There's something you need to do with your mindset. Are you presenting yourself? Are you visible to the type of people that you're looking forward to doing business with? If the answer is yes, so what more can you do to increase your reach? So we are looking at visibility as well as reach. So yeah, first of all, we can use visibility to type of customers we want. So for example, Olajimi says she wants to focus more on ready to wear products. So how are they going to find the people that the customers that are in the spaces where they selling at? So for example, the step of joining marketplace is something that will really be that one of our second person voice. To find out what is join. I want to make it helpful for people that are in the services industry. OAP, or voiceover artists, who are people that need your service, how it goes to reach out, who already have an existing customer base. The answer is how do you plan to retain them, what are you offer to keep them, then for the new ones, what are you doing to attract new customers? Then, so that's category 5, building the customer base. Category 6, I want to go in pricing. This is something we want to talk about. We want to look at the price templates. So we talk a bit about breaking down. So for example, we are paying for my time. What is happening? We want to look at maybe creating rate cards for people in the service industry, so that it's easy for you to say this is what I charge for ABC. Okay. So I think we'll just stop at category 6 for now. So we would, I think we'll just take 1 or 2 people going over their notes. And category 6 is pricing. Pricing. So is there anyone that is willing to share? Online, do we have anyone that is willing to share?
I'm still trying to think through for me.
Okay, is there anyone that is willing to share? Yes, I think once we are done with this, we'll just be taking our closing remarks. I think it's last. Sorry, Bible, please can you help check these slides? I think it's just before the closing remarks. This, okay, question and answer and closing remarks. So I think once we're done with okay, so while we're waiting for that to speak, for me, regulatory compliance part, I'm on my taxes. I've been paying, I'm always paying fines every year. So fines because I miss the dates and all the taxes to the day. So this year I said I'm going to do more of paying what do what I'm supposed to do also, so that I'm not paying fines. Again, I'm beginning to fall into the same pattern, but I'm going to catch it. So that's one of the things that this session is helping me. I'm going to reach out to my lawyer and my accountant. We'll have a session and talk about what Adebukola and I are trying to register a company, so I'll follow up with him before that. Regarding business operation, I know that I need to, there's some checklists that I was working on. I already started working on, so I'm not going to improve on those. And also, for example, for startup, I'm looking at us starting the online visibility challenge, but now modified. No, it's not going to be running continuously as we had before. We're going to now make it more structured and we'll just be. So I realized that one of the problems we had was that there was no end. There was no end to it. So I'm looking at maybe it's going to be like a 6-week program to start with. Then if you want to continue to another step, we continue on. We won't make it open-ended anymore. Well, that's another thing I'm looking into in terms of operations. Staffing and human resources, I think that I'm still going to need to speak with people, admins. I need to be more open and transparent because I realize that most of the things happening is in my head. Then I just wake up at 6 p.m. and one day and say, I'm going to do this. I need to be more, I need to make it easier for them to be more open. So for customer retention, first of all, I will improve my personal capacity of behaving like a dog. And better behave and maybe I need to go to a few customer service classes with people like Omolara. Begin to engage. I think one of the things that we said was asking customers for feedback to check with them actually what can I do. Just that we are usually asking feedback. Because most times I already find they have an idea of what they see. But the question is, why do you want to do what they are saying?
But getting them to say it goes along with the feel good.
That they are so really, yes. Yes. Because for me, like you know, people that will just give me an anonymous message. Like, I don't want to know because I know it's probably not a good thing. I don't want to hear it, but I work on that my fear of feedback on this aspect. So I may be surprised that I actually get good feedback also. Okay, so in increasing my customer base, I plan to work more on. First of all, I need to be very, very clear on what I'm offering, so that it's easy for people to know and for me to also know what I'm looking for. So I'm working already on that to make sure that when people come, most times the feedback I get from people is that we don't even really know what to do. We seem to be doing so much, but I don't know what to do. So I do have some rate plans. I'm making some things here and there, but I'm going to try to put everything together and let it make sense. And also that at one glance, someone can easily see that these are the services that offer all. So I'm going to work on that as well. That's my particular side. Then the pricing, of course, that's first of all happens I need to have what I'm saying. But in terms of price, I don't think I struggle with that because for me, it's easy for me. I've been in service. I'm able to tell how long it takes to be done. So I went on so that everybody will be ready. So are you ready to share?
Okay, so for regulatory compliance, I'm also on the tax finance because we've been, even though that plan is somehow on hold, but let me just assume it's still on because it's not actually decided. It's a signpost outside. So in order to do that, we identified that we needed to, finish off with our filing, our tax filing. But the FIRM office is just there. Then after that, we also need to register with ASA in order to be able to sign this. Even
I think most of the things
yeah.
Or
And the tax people,
They will now
yeah,
because we have.
so when they say you demand for your tax, it's find you, they will find you not.
So now we are told them they are.
So it's one of the things you have to be compliant with before showing yourself, and that's why there's one thing I attended some years ago, it's tech thing, and there were like so many of these tech until they become so big, maybe they get funds, you don't even know they exist, because when they work, you never see any sign.
Like nothing that will tell you that
Because they don't want tax to be function, so people hide businesses because of that. Anyway, so that's one of that's for regulatory plans. Then for operations, I plan to ramp up advance, and make it more regular. And then production, we started bags production last. So we ran into some issues. I need to stabilize that and increase production hours. And then summer is approaching. We usually have summer classes, so we need to complete on what the itinerary is going to be. And start rolling it out. Then for staffing, employ someone, document expectations of the culture, and then also the company culture that's we want the person to to exhibit. Then customer retention. To update our customer data, we have an Excel sheet. It's been a while we updated.
Okay, so just we have email addresses. So you're doing email
Not all of them.
So if everyone wants to create like maybe some Google form and ask your question.
Yes. We have most emails. A lot of customers came in. Even if they go to the website, they must enter website. Okay, then ask for feedback. I just told them. Then to acquire new customers, there is a collaboration that we're discussing, trying to finalize on it, so it will come into that so that person's need to pricing. Well, the goal with the new production unit is to drive down costs, costs
With the head for production for
production. Okay, so how we used to make that? We just sometimes we have bad makers that we work with. So they will supply, we tell them what to want them to do. So in order to verify that, I said we ran into riches. People just
do whatever
people don't do anyhow. So I'm trying to sort things out now, but the goal is okay, we're producing it here. Actually, the major motivation for bringing in production then is quality. It's quality control, because we have our stated standards, and then you do it this time. The next batch are going to there's something. The next batch there's something different. So it's the inconsistency is worrying. So I'm like, okay, let's start making it. As you're making it and seeing it and all of that.
Okay, so it's still going to be the same person making, but you have to come to SMS. So you don't have to invest in getting people to do your own. It's still the same people making the bags.
They were making my own.
And then so but they will come and so the quality control is
able to monitor
it. Okay, sounds like a good one. Thank you very much. So who's going to do it?
We say all year long. So I have.
So they are registered. Okay.
Payment of taxes because they are not being.
Okay, so the thing is actually, even if you're not you're actually supposed to file for your taxes. You are supposed to file, even if you don't have it. You just go and file that you I don't make any money. But because you do not file that time, when you go beyond that, I don't know what, then you will not be fined for not filling those papers. So typically, usually that fine that now makes people have it outstanding. And sometimes some people just abandon their company and start with fresh one. So it's usually helpful to go and see what your status is, so that you know what you want to do. And then I will be giving this sheet and talking to you like when you do, or you want to you thinking that what you have to south and see the south.
So I really don't because it was so hard to
Okay, it will be important. If you want, we can have a conversation outside of this to see what the criteria. That means we can be involved to advise you on what you're going to do. Okay.
I think for the occasion, I'm looking at certain and you have some more that's in more hands. And I've started doing it. So, starting. The number of Indian research.
Okay, but you said you have to hire more people. So that's still transport, human resources. Okay, so just to mention, we have an STC clearance sales group. Again, it's on WhatsApp and Telegram. So you can actually advertise with that and we're doing what we can to help to drive traffic to improve as well. Thank you so much. Mr. Adebisi.
My great family, I have a staff time. Every woman big news of partners now separate the now also because I like to complete start. I want to do an account for the company but a lot of when it comes to starting at the time when I as a trainer, I think that I train out that I don't know for example, I'm a trainer supervisor, also when I get to I charge and then want to work. That's how I go now. It's looking to get around office space that I think that this is the thing that you need to do now. Personal assistant, and do that now. I think that I will now as you on my days of the time of the month.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone online that is ready to share? You are muted. Anyone ready to share? Yeah. Hopefully, I can see mouse moving. Can you hear us? I hope we're not muted again. Hello? I can see his mouse moving.
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, is there anyone online that is ready to share with us?
For now, I don't think so. Unless Rachel will want to share.
Rachel, are you ready to share? Do you have anything to share? Okay, Rachel says no as well. Thank you. So do we have any questions that we haven't answered yet? Question and answer segment. Any questions that would like to address? Please go ahead.
I've been doing it, but I'm doing the version
Over.
but I noticed that they are making it so difficult the class is like you get 40 minutes and less. After the 40 minutes, you cannot restart immediately. You have to wait like maybe 5 minutes before you start. So I'm thinking I would love to get the paying version. But I had problems sometimes when I tried to do your card.
Okay, because I had some issues with paying for some. So if you want, I do that as a service. I provide that as a service. If you want me to set up your Zoom session, because I have paid you, I can set it up for you for a fee, of course, for a fee. Now we're talking money. And so, but if it's something you need to discuss that this as a stopgap measure until you can afford to, because paying for things in Nigeria I thought I've lost my cheaper cash account earlier this month, and I already like now I need to pay for my house. But thankfully I recovered it. So I still have paid Zoom for now. Thankfully. So if you're interested, yes, we can talk about that.
Yeah, I think I'll just make a list of maybe I'll have
So yes, so yes, we can have that session. So any other questions? Does anyone have any other question? Okay, in the absence of any other question, very well, can we go to the next slide? Next slide, closing remarks, vote of thanks from all of the admins. For those that don't know, the admins of we have about 5, 6, or 4 of us have been on this meeting today. There's been myself, there's Omolara Sunny, and there's Brian. Brian is really fantastic job helping us manage. So Adebukola is not here, so I'll just call on Brian to give us any closing remarks he has.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm really happy and excited that we had this meeting. I'm also happy about the people that were able to come physically to the office where you had the on-site meeting and all that. I really wish I was there, because I know it would have been more interesting, it would have been more engaging if I was there.
The
but even
is that the small chops wanted to use to pepper you. When I tell you that.
Oh, hallelujah. Oh, did I just say hallelujah? I'm sorry. I mean, sorry about that. We'll send virtual small chops to everybody. But yeah, thank you all so much for sharing openly and such engaging conversations. It was beautiful. I learned quite a lot, and I'm also happy I was able to talk about my own experiences, and some issues were addressed also. Thank you specifically. I kept hearing Omolara, even though I haven't seen the Omolara. I also know I have a brother there that is an actor. And no, thank you all so much for sharing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, I thought it was our small chops. Our small chops is still how many kilometers away as well. Anyway, so Omolara is on a call, so I guess I'll just give my own closing remarks. Hopefully she'll be here before we do. I would like to thank everyone that's managed that came. I know you didn't come through today, but I'm sure you saw the day before you came, but you still came. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank everyone that's been online. Adebukola was in a conference, a church conference, came out of it, so she had to go back. So I'm really thankful to everyone, and it's great to see people. We are going to try to get a good picture. I wanted those online to also turn on their what they call it, their cameras, and then we'll take a screenshot of that, as well as those of us that are here. But I'm really grateful. I guess the only thing coming up that I want to share is that we will soon start our online visibility challenge again, SCC. I wanted us to start in May, but I don't think we are ready for it. So I'm not sure. How do we do this? Who is the result?
Yeah, because
I'm one of the ones to do something. So please, can everyone turn on the phone? Everyone turn on the phone. Can you turn on your camera? Okay, while we are doing that, okay, we are all muted. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You said we should turn on our cameras, right? Oh, well, okay, yes, that's the actor.
Yes, that's supposed to.
Oh, I turned on my camera too. I hope my picture will be good. This is me.
Somehow there's a way hard for everybody. Okay, I think it's. So it's something that you say with the-
You say?
Everybody must. Yes, this is it.
Okay, but it's
Oh, this is it. Okay, it's for 9:10.
should I do a screenshot?
Yes, please do the screenshots. Thank you. That's okay.
Okay. Just hold on a second. Okay, so everybody say cheese.
Cheese.
Okay. Yes, so I'll send the screenshot on the WhatsApp group. I want to believe everybody here is on the WhatsApp group, right?
Let me see if the added this.
Okay.
Start from here, everyone knows. It's on WhatsApp. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
We are supposed to be getting item 7 about this time, but the village people that held our food, not this country. They don't use rain as their cover because they do not plan to rain just people. Thank you. Thank God for life in the future. So that's what I've been eating since. Okay. Okay, we can get the drinks. At least we'll have drinks, even if we don't have food. So we can end the recording. We can stop recording.
I have my own drink here.
Me too.
Oh, you have a, oh no, that's a small bottle. I was about to say you have a big bottle, but it's a small bottle. So it's fine.